Hey y'all, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Mary Payne and it's Thursday, so that means it's Shades of Bravo that we do on Thursday. I think we've settled on that name for now. As you know, I could never figure out a name for Thursday. Is it Shady Bravo? Is it Bunky Bravo? What is it? But today, Shades of Bravo, I have two guests. It's Emily and Lauren from Access Hollywood, and we have scheduled and rescheduled this 6 times, so I'm so glad I'm finally able to talk to y'all so we can talk about Bravo and the Housewives. Hi, ladies.
Hi, Mary. We're so excited to be here. And we're finally getting to chit chat.
I know.
That's the problem with a show with two people. Our schedules are a little bit challenging, but we are so happy that you kept changing this for us. We're so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think I even had to change it at one point. I think it was, you know what it was? It was when the Scandoval was going on and I needed to be recording up to the minute Scandoval.
Yes.
And we just discussed how Bravo won't give me any screeners. So I had to watch it live and then take notes and I had to record. And then one of you was off that day. I was like, I've got to get somebody that can come in and talk Scandoval as it's happening. So that's one of the reasons we had to change. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
What a time that was.
I was about to say, never forget. I sleep deprived during that time, but man, did that deliver so much content for us.
I bet it did. I saw, I was looking back at some of your interviews that you have, and I saw the one that you did with Jax. And it's so funny anytime Jax talks about Scandoval, and you can't ask me a question about Vanderpump Rules. I don't know. I'm a day one. Even when it was sucky, I still watched every episode. Love it. Ride or die Vanderpump Rules. And it's so funny to have Jax be like, well, I mean, I know I'm not one to talk. I mean, I know I'm not one to talk. He loves to he wants to let you know that he knows he's a piece of shit before you say it.
He wanted to be the one to be like, yes, I was the villain. I know that whole interview. I will say, I was a very intense interview where
he's intense.
He's so intense. I've had so many interviews that should not have been that serious. And that one was he was looking deep into my soul the whole time. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so intense.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's interesting. I've always been somebody else. I wish I could remember who it was, told me that they recently started watching Vanderpump Rules for the first time. I was like, oh, live your life. It's so amazing. And I was like, yeah, I was season 1 Jax. I was into
Are you guys jealous of people that never watched it and could go back and just kind of binge the whole thing leading up to Scandoval? You know, it's just such a great thing, and we didn't get that. We were day oneers.
Yeah, I know. I feel that way when people say they just started watching Welcome to Plathville, which is my obsession, and we've covered every single episode from day one. And then people are now like, "Oh, have you ever heard of this show, Welcome to Plathville?" I'm like, we're on season 5. Get on board. And I get real mad about it because I'm like, it's been good since day one. I was telling you guys I went to that TLC party and I was talking to an advertising lady there, Mary Beth, who's head of their advertising.
Yeah, I know Mary Beth.
Mary Beth at TLC.
Yeah.
She was so great. And I was telling her about how amazing Plathville is. And she was like, really? Above all, I was like, should be the number 1 show on TLC.
I don't watch, but we were also talking about Nicole, and she's always trying to get me to watch Nicole over at TLC. Yes. And I'm like, my content, me and Lauren talk about this all the time between our full-time jobs and then also our podcast. I watch this stuff when I'm walking to a plane, I watch as much as I can, but I don't know that I can add another show to my repertoire here.
Yes. I'm covering every single show, every single 90-day show. Okay. Of which there's 4 or 5. There's so many.
So many.
Plus Plathville, plus Love After Lockup. And now we're about to drop in Family Chantel. And then I was covering 90 Day UK. And I'm a one-woman shop here.
That's
and
amazing.
I have co-hosts and stuff, but oh my gosh, it has been, I told them, I was like, don't give me another 90-day show. Don't give me another one until January. I can't take it. It's too many. It's too many.
It's so crazy though. We just started covering 90 Day, as Access Hollywood, on our digital side of things. And when I tell you that is the number 1, clickiest thing week after week and the best engagement, the people love 90 Day.
I know.
People love it. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know. I love it too. And so I'm covering The Other Way And then I'm covering before the 90 just ended, and new 90-day original is about to start. And then we got 90-day UK, and then we have The Last Resort, and now we're about to have Family Chantel. And I can't take another show. It's so much. And it's so funny too, because whenever I'm talking about it, I'm always getting the people confused, and somebody will mention somebody. I'm like, who? I'm like, that was 3 seasons ago. I can't. So this is, I will say, speaking of, Bravo, the thing about Bravo is at least they pace out their housewives. They never have more than they currently have 3, but they bring one in as one's going out.
Yes, that's true.
Right. Because we have OC going out, but Salt Lake just came in.
And it does also seem like these days, at least like one is in its flop era. So it's like not as much to keep up with,
True.
So, they pace it out in that way. Some are more on fire some seasons than others.
I watch anyway, though. Even
I
if it's
will. I was going to say, I will find a way.
Anyway.
I find a way to make it not a flop era. I mean, look at OC. Like it was. I think this past season was great. I think Tamra came in, stirred the pot. Great. I don't know about Salt Lake yet. I'm still.
I'm digging Salt Lake. I think it's kind of wild so far. I mean, there's a lot. Mary back is great.
That was a necessity.
She's TV gold. Monica Garcia. I don't know what to think about this woman and her Louis Vuitton that she sadly had to go purchase to feel a part of the team.
That was sad.
Well, listen, this is Salt Lake is what we're going to talk about. So let's talk about Salt Lake first. Okay, so I'm so surprised, Lauren, like I'm speechless that you were saying that you don't, it came out of the gate, like really good. I think maybe you need to do a rewatch because Meredith is giving British accent.
Okay, the British accent was very good. Like, I don't know I think I'm just thinking it was so, not selfishly, I did enjoy the whole Jen Shaw of it all and her whole drama. And so I think I came in this season going, we don't have any of that. But last episode was very good. The whole Lisa Barlow, no makeup situation, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think I need to maybe I'll give it another rewatch. I think I'm just so into OC right now that I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll watch Salt Lake too.
So it's like opposite day. Like you're the opposite of every single other Bravo viewer because most people are not digging OC and loving Salt Lake. You guys, Mary, I heard Andy say on his radio show last week, somebody called in, was like, oh, we're so glad Mary's back. But it's so weird. Like she wouldn't participate and she doesn't want to sit by anybody. And he literally goes, yeah, she does that the whole season. It's really great.
Yeah. Well, at least she is not. Did you see guys like memes of people being like, Mary's finally shooting outside of her closet because she would only shoot scenes like in her own home and in her closet, which of course was like a house, just her closet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems to be, I feel like Bravo just said, listen, if you come back, we'll kind of go with your parameters. And did you notice the cult has not been brought up at all? When I say cult, I'm putting in parentheses because we don't know that
her alleged cult church. Yes.
Yes. That has not been brought up at all, which I'm thinking is probably a part of her. She said, I'll come back. I'm entertaining as hell, but I'm not going to go back into that gutter with you guys.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how and when anybody ever brings it up because maybe they've been told strictly not to. Because you're right, at this point, for nobody to have brought it up. And also, it was like, what does she have on Meredith? Like, why is Meredith so loyal to Mary?
No, she has to have something on Meredith.
But, I mean,
that relationship feels so fabricated to me. It does not feel real.
She's always like, okay, Mary, you just want to stay in the van? That's fine. And it's like, no, it's not. The rest of them have to get out there and make asses of themselves. And I think a lot of these housewives fights that we see, a lot of them start behind the scenes where somebody didn't show up to film and you had to sit there 7 hours, or somebody got to be late and you didn't get to be late. And you're like, I had to be on time. We're getting paid the same amount. So I think that this is going to like not endear anyone to Mary. Also, they asked Andy about the rule of if you don't come to the reunion, you don't get to come back on. And they asked him about that. What about that rule? And he goes, I think the rule is if you don't come to that reunion, you don't get to be on that next season. And she skipped a season. And they were like, I don't think that's been the rule.
He thought fast there.
Yeah, that was a quick answer.
That was a good catch,
answer.
Andy.
Yeah. I do love her one-liners, though. When she said, I heard my son was married, but I haven't asked him. They were like, you live in the same house. He was like, I don't know. I hadn't had time. He's married.
Wild. We still don't know, do we? We still haven't gotten an answer to that.
No, we have no idea. So I do enjoy that Meredith is now casually throwing out this whole caviar thing because, she has a caviar line.
Yes, we do know.
We do.
Yes.
So that's why she's trying to be like, I eat caviar for breakfast. I'm like, no, you don't.
That sounds disgusting. I don't know.
I love caviar. I would eat it for breakfast.
I was at a housewife party and they were serving caviar, and it was like maybe the second time I've ever had caviar. And I'm like, what? I thought it was disgusting. I don't know.
I have tried it one time, and I don't even like fish as a baseline. Yeah. I don't like fish. So eating fish eggs, I didn't think was going to be for me, and I tried it, and I was right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you don't like fish, you guys are not going to like caviar. It's quite the fishy fish.
I did feel fancy eating it, but then I was like, you know what? Stay in my lane. This is not for me.
No. Well, so then we've got Lisa, and the whole thing about the makeup that we saw. I have to say I kind of agreed with her because it's like you paid for this person to come and do your makeup and you're on camera. So you're like, but you don't have to make such a big deal. You could be like, sure, we'll do something fun. Right. And then just have your person do your makeup like a little extreme. But to cry about it was something.
Oh, I'd cry about it. Okay. I'm a 32-year-old woman, and I will cry if my makeup does not look good. I relate to Lisa Barlow.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm a vain woman.
Okay, here's the thing, though. I think the biggest thing with me is I miss the days of Housewives when they didn't have a glam squad with them all the time.
That's true.
And, even 5 years ago, they didn't have a glam squad. So I get it. She flew her makeup artist out. It was $2,500. But, have fun. If that's a lot of money. I mean, maybe it's not a lot of money to Lisa with her $60,000 ring that she lost.
Oh, God.
Which that was a whole other thing. But I feel like, okay, have fun, go with it. I don't know. I didn't like the whole crying. I get it. Maybe she's insecure because also you are on camera. If I was on camera, I would be worried about what I looked too. But I think that made her look worse in the end.
Yes, because she probably thought, well, maybe they won't film all this. Well, did you not learn your lesson? Yes, they will.
Not Mike.
Yes.
Yeah, did you not? Yes. They will expose you.
I mean, some of our favorite housewives in their first seasons were like Denise Richards, Teddy Mellencamp, because they came on, they didn't have any glam, sometimes no makeup at all. Remember? Denise would just walk in with a t-shirt and she'd be like, why are you guys looking like you're going to a ball? And it was so relatable and fun. We loved her for it. So I do get that. I get what you're saying that you miss the nostalgia of just, kind of coming in as yourself. But so Lauren, do you think it should just be confessionals as full glam?
Yeah, confessionals, totally. Full glam, of course. And if there's a dinner party, a ball, but they are made up. They're working out and they're made up.
That drives me crazy.
It drives me crazy.
And then they always have their hair down to here, flowing while they're working out. And you're like, are you not
sweating? Are you not sweating in the back?
Ponytail, girl. Come on.
No, I love it. I love it.
That's what I
live for it.
Yeah, I know you love it, but it bananas.
I love a beat face. I love it. I mean, look at me now, but I'm going to a shoot after this, so.
I don't mind a beat face, but not if you're just meeting somebody for brunch. I mean, did you get up at 4 a.m. to do that? Come on.
They did.
Probably.
Yes, they did. And they pay for all their own glam. So they are invested.
That's what's so crazy about it.
I think No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, at least, we have sometimes Shannon. She'll just show up looking a little ragged from the night before. Or
Shannon doesn't care.
That I like. But I get it.
Well, I mean, you think about the iconic, Real Housewives of New York of Bethenny and Luann hung over in the bed together
in the bed.
Yeah. Just makeup. I mean, that's what Bethany's doing now anyway on her TikTok, just smearing her makeup on her face like Britney Spears and yelling at people at TJ Maxx. I didn't mean to talk about Bethenny, but let me ask you guys what you think about this Bethenny situation. I have been a ride or die Bethenny stan. I think she's one of the top 5 housewives ever. And I'm really upset that she's going down this path of look at me, look at me, look at me all the time. Right? If she wouldn't have done all this crazy post-housewife stuff, that nothing ever sticks, right? Except for the the Be Strong, the donations that she does to people with natural disasters. Other than that, nothing she does. She has this idea. She has that idea. She's eating crabs with her hands. She's, going to TJ Maxx and pushing her old makeup in people's faces. Like, I wish she wouldn't have done any of that because I want to remember Bethenny as such an iconic housewife. What is she doing?
I think she needs to stop.
I think, stop coming after our network. And
yeah.
I just, listen, I think that this is a nuanced thing. I can definitely speak to, I can't stand the mukbang. I don't like them. Did you guys see the crab leg mukbang? Like a couple.
What is a mukbang? What's a mukbang?
It's like eating like a ton of food in front.
Maybe it was like a month ago.
Yeah,
it's burned into my brain. She's just eating in the hotel room and she's licking her fingers and the camera's really close and it's a lot. I don't know. I think it's a lot.
I think it's a lot, and I do think as she continues, people are getting less and less interested in what she has to say. So
right. I was interested in her makeup stuff. I really was. I was like, oh,
she had me. She had me.
Those dupes. I think I'm wearing the elf dupe right now. Like,
oh yeah. No, we loved Bethenny 2022.
Yes,
6 months ago.
But she's taken it too far, and it upsets me because I don't want. And then I hear other people talk about, like, I don't even want to know. I just want her to go back to telling me what makeup to buy at CVS. That's like the makeup from Nordstrom. That's what I need.
That's what I was enjoying out of, and I was enjoying. I will never discredit her for being on the show, like on Roni, because I did love Bethenny when she was on the show. Mm-hmm. She was an icon, but now it's like just stop.
And then she had that interview with Jill, and she at the end of it, she's like, I mean, literally, like, don't call me and ask me to things or anything. Like, I don't want to hear from you every week. Like, we're going to start this slow. And Jill's like, okay, like, geez. Yeah. Just like, so like you be nice and then be so rude and just be like, don't invite me to anything. Like, don't call me.
It was just not nice. And
it's like,
Jill can handle Bethenny.
Jill can handle Bethenny, but I like Jill. I
love Jill.
We've met her several times in person, and she is one of those that is very sweet, that remembers who we are, like is purposely making sure that she's like, oh yeah, we've talked, like just nice, out of the way nice. She does love to sell a product, but also,
listen,
would I be doing the same thing? Probably.
Jill's great. I love her daughter, Allie. I see them all the time at events. We've interviewed them, but they're just cool. They really are. Like, I know people love to call Jill thirsty, but listen, Bravo and this platform is an opportunity to make money and to build your business. So is it thirsty to want to build your business? I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think that when they kind of made fun of her on the Ultimate Girls Trip about it, it became like a thing, which was hilarious. Because every time she'd be like, Jill and Allie or whatever, and she would say what it was, and it kind of it was funny. So then she just leaned into it, which is classic housewife. Just like Bethenny, you just lean into it. Just lean into it and stop being such a jerk and trying to give people that work at TJ Maxx your old makeup. And nobody wants that. That's gross.
That was bad. That was
so gross.
I feel like I couldn't even speak to that because there's so much to unpack. Like in that one short clip, there is so much. We don't have enough time to unpack that.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do?
I haven't listened to her Nene interview. I did listen to the Raquel one, Rachel. I did listen to that one. And the whole time she's like, I haven't seen the show, but my understanding is this.
I was
like, how do you haven't even seen it, so you can certainly have empathy. Yeah, you can have empathy. She's like, I flew here, but like I never fly anywhere to see anybody, but I flew here to see you because it's so important. I was like, then maybe you should have watched a couple of episodes.
It's not that hard. Peacock had literally how to get caught up on Scandoval, and they had specific episodes to watch.
That was so genius, by the way. That was so genius.
Good. That was so good.
So I sent it to people. I was like,
I did too. I sent my grandma. Really wanted to understand what happened. I was like, Grandma, go on Peacock. It's very easy. And now she's caught up. So there you go.
I love that for Grandma. Well, since we're talking about housewives that you guys have talked to, I know you guys, of course, went to BravoCon last year, but just in your jobs in general, you interview a lot of Bravo celebrities. So who besides Jax trying to stare a hole into your soul, who's like the hardest person to get to kind of like, because I've seen your interview style, you're very much like, hey, how's it going? And you're easy breezy. You're not like coming in like Barbara Walters.
Right.
So who's like the hardest one you guys have tried to get on your side to crack?
I think the first person that came to mind, and Emily, you might say the same, but Erika Jane.
Really?
Oh, she's tough.
She's a tough
You know what?
cookie.
She's wildly intimidating in person.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Intimidating.
So is Rinna.
Oh my God.
Rinna, also
Another one. Wildly intimidating in person.
Yes.
Like, and I've interviewed Rinna like outside of Bravo World, like just at Fashion Week or whatever for Access. And she's definitely, yeah.
They're both tough. I will say I did interview Erika. Remember Erika at BravoCon last year? That was a scary time. After that interview, both of Emily and I were like, oh, what did she just say? Like, she hates us. But I did just interview her right before her Las Vegas residency. And I will say it was a different side of her. She was definitely, you could tell, in a much better place and like, you know, excited about that because she did go through a lot. There's no, you can't say she didn't. But that is the one person that every time we're about to interview her, I'm a little more nervous.
Yeah. You know who I'm going to say, like, the biggest shocker, I personally think, is Teresa Giudice.
Oh.
I love Teresa Giudice. Listen, am I like blind to maybe some of her mishaps on the show or things that she has done? No, like I can totally, it's not a blind love, but in person, she is so warm. She will sit and talk to you for an hour. She will just she will ask you about your life. She is so lovely in person. It's almost shocking because we've seen obviously some darker moments on this show that you can't believe it's the same person that has kind of had those, you know, she's had some moments. But Teresa Giudice is by far like one of my favorites to interview in person. She's not intimidating, and you would think she would be. She's not at all. I actually find Melissa a lot more intimidating than Teresa, just because she's not as warm. Teresa, I stan her. I go hard for Teresa.
I've heard that a lot. I've heard that a lot from people that have interviewed a lot of housewives. They say that like you really wouldn't believe it, but Teresa is so nice. I'm kind of a team Melissa person generally. But I kind of feel like we'll see. And I think it's a great decision for them to bring the entire cast back exactly as it was. Except for maybe with the, you know, maybe what just happened with Jen and Danielle.
We actually have no tea on that.
We have no. We were trying to get the tea on that, but Bravo was like, we're not going to tell you guys.
We have no tea. I hope they come back. I hate when things get wildly physical, so I do hope that they work it out.
I really like Danielle. That was another person this past year. I interviewed her a couple of times, and her energy was just so fun. I mean, she was such a fun person to interview, and she, I think, deserves to, I don't know. We don't know what happened. So, but I did really enjoy her. She was really fun. I'm trying to think, there's other people that have been that we've got off the phone with and we're like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah. The Erika, you know, I saw her recently on Watch What Happens Live before the Vegas residency started. And I told, I was talking to Ben and Ronnie of Watch What Happens. I was telling them, I said, I was like, they hadn't seen it yet, the Watch What Happens Live. I go, she was easy breezy, light as a feather.
Yeah, she was.
She just seemed, and he was like, oh yeah, she's always easy breezy before the season starts. I said, no, I think, you know, she feels a little vindicated with like, still nothing has happened. She's never been, you know, shown to have any knowledge of any of this stuff still all these years later. I said, so I think she feels, you know, like, come at me. What do you have? Like you have nothing, you know?
No, I do. I agree with that.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Have you seen the Vegas residency? Did you see it?
No, we did. You
didn't see it? I thought you went when you interviewed her.
No, I was just in LA. But no, I haven't seen it. I mean, I've heard it's good except for the, you know, $7 tickets.
Those were for standing room only, somebody said. So like if you wanted a seat, it was probably $20.
Okay. And that's, you know, I think, I don't know. I have a new opinion about Erika and I know Sutton said something a little shady about her during like one of those podcast tapings with Page 6 about that, which Sutton is another person. Sutton is probably one of our favorites.
We love Sutton.
We love Sutton. She is so quirky.
I talked to her Yeah, at BravoCon, and I was like, I wanted to like sit in her lap and hug her. I think I would break her if I did that, but
she's
was
so tiny. Yeah, she's so tiny, but she's so funny, so quirky. And Garcelle, honestly, all the Beverly Hills really, they're either really intimidating or they're.
Garcelle's so classy. She just like, she's so gorgeous. Her beautiful voice. She's always like, her makeup's perfect. I love Garcelle.
She just sort of rises above, I feel, Garcelle.
Yes. And she did Housewives right. Like, let's not forget, Garcelle was known. She was a working woman before Housewives, but her first season, I think she booked like 5 jobs, like outside of Bravo. You know, she got busy and she's really become a huge name in not even just in the Bravo reality world, but she's totally like she has a Lifetime movie, all this stuff she's got going.
Yeah. And then she's got that son that sleeps with Vanderpump Rules waitresses.
Oh
I mean, whatever.
Gosh.
I never asked her about that, actually, I don't think. But yeah,
Forgot about Oliver.
He kissed Raquel.
I know. Oh, she's probably like, honey.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Still married. He was like, yeah, I mean, I was still sleeping with my wife, but I mean, it was just no big deal.
Yeah, that was not a good look.
That was not great.
That was not great.
You guys, do you have little ones in your house? Little Spoon has something for all size baby. They've got little babies all the way up to toddlers. Little Spoon is a one-stop shop for healthy, easy meals and snacks for little babies, toddlers, and big kids. And it is delivered right to your door, which is something we all need these days. There are the baby blends, which is obviously baby food. There are biteables, which is like a transition to finger foods, you know, when the kids are going from one thing to the other. Then there's platables, which are toddler and big kid meals. And then there's the smoothies that come in those cute little pouches. So I had some Little Spoon sent to my nephew, James, sweet baby James. He's so adorable. I've got 2 more babies coming in my family soon, but I digress. Anyway, James agreed to be a taste tester. He's super picky. And his mom told me that he loved the plates. He especially loved the mac and cheese. The mac and cheese has hidden veggies. Don't tell James. And he also loved the strawberry banana shake smoothie. I mean, that sounds good to me. Let's be honest. Little Spoon makes everything fresh and uses absolutely nothing artificial. It's just like homemade, all delivered to your door and ready in seconds. Pop your meals in the fridge or the freezer when they arrive and then use them when you're ready. It's that easy. You guys think about like after school or at that witching hour at like 5:30 and you got to quickly make dinner and you've got screaming toddlers and babies. I've been there and I really, really wish Little Spoon was a thing during that time of my life. It totally could have helped me. From the baby food all the way to the big plates, it ranges from $3 to $7 a meal. And again, if this was around when I had Anna and John, it would have helped me a lot. I wouldn't have had to like walk around with John and a baby Bjorn while I was trying to make dinner while Anna was like throwing blocks in my head. It just would have been great. So make this year's back to school chaos a little more manageable and time saving, delicious and healthy with meals and snacks your kids will love. You're going to go to littlespoon.com/pinkshade. Enter our code, which is pinkshade. When you enter that, you're going to get 30% off. Y'all, that's a lot. So Little Spoon, LITTLESPOON.com/pinkshade and enter our code pinkshade for 30% off at checkout. And let me know if your kids like it. Who do you think is the funniest housewife or Bravo celebrity that you've talked to?
Ooh.
Mine is Vicki G.
Oh, we love Vicki.
Just anything. She's not even trying to be funny. I just think the faces she makes, her inflection, she just makes me personally laugh. Like I know it's not for everyone, but I personally just think she's freaking hilarious.
I love Vicki. I freaking love Vicki. And last year at BravoCon, so we were hanging out at the bar, the downstairs bar at the Gansevoort, because we couldn't get up to where the real party was on the rooftop. So we were hanging with the riffraff. But listen, the Manzos were down there. Like, we were having a great time.
So fun.
We were having that's where Shep groped me.
Oh, my God.
Not allegedly. It happens. I have photos. And so it was fun. It was fun down there. And we talked to this woman named Mary all night. Like we followed each other on Instagram all night, hours and hours we were with this woman. So then at some point I said, so were you just staying at this hotel randomly and you came down? Because she wasn't a part of the whole thing. And she goes, oh no, actually I'm here with my sister-in-law and she went to bed. I put her to bed and then I just saw her come down to the bar because it was my birthday or something. I was like, oh wow. She's Vicki's sister-in-law from Vicki's first marriage, the parents of Michael and Brianna. So she's Michael and Brianna's aunt. Wolfstein or Wolf, whatever was the name, was the Vicki's first husband's name. And she was like, yeah, Vicki and I are best friends. We do everything together. And it was my birthday weekend, so she asked me to come. But we've been with her for hours, and she never told us that. We were like, what? Can we go get her? Because, we've had 1,000 drinks. We're like, let's go up to the room and get Vicki. She's like, no. But she was great. And so that was like my one thing, like maybe one day I'll get to meet Vicki through her sister-in-law, which hasn't been a sister-in-law, 2 husbands back, with Vicki. But I love Vicki too. I need her to come back full time.
I do too. We can give you a little tease, but she's actually our first podcast episode guest. Okay. So we just interviewed her a couple days ago, and we talked all about that. And she, she basically said, I'm not going to give too much away, but she basically said that she did feel that she wasn't all in this season, and she felt like, what was the word that she said, Emily? She was like a has-been. She said she felt like a has-been this season. She felt like she's kind of being
treated like a has-been. Like, she feels like she deserves to come back full-time.
Yeah, and I agree.
She does. I mean, Tamra got to come back full-time. Vicki has given us so much on this show. Several divorces. She's gone through loss. She's gone through her fun
cancer scandal.
I mean, she literally she's given. I think she deserves to come back. But for your listeners that don't know, we have been a digital show. It's called Housewives NightCap on Access Hollywood for 3 years, and now we've turned it into a podcast also. So that's So we've interviewed all the housewives for 3 years plus. And Vicki is our very first podcast guest.
Guest. Okay. And Lauren was telling me that the show is coming out. It's coming out next week. Next week.
Vicki's episode is going to launch October 12th. And you can get it wherever you get your podcast from. And then we're going to it's kind of a soft launch. And then we're really going to hard launch after BravoCon. We have a lot of stuff worked up. We're working through with BravoCon, getting exclusive interviews that will be on the podcast. We already booked
another really good guest for next week. We're really excited about
it. We have a very good guest for next week.
From Vanderpump.
Oh.
Yes. So, no, we're very, very excited. And as you know, I feel like with podcasts, there's so many Bravo podcasts, but as a Bravo fan, I like listening to them all because you get different takes from each one, and you get different things from each one. And I do feel like the community, the Bravo podcast community, it's a tight knit, and it's just we're very excited to now finally be podcasters.
Well, the podcast community in general, I have found, is very supportive of everyone. So, if I reach out to another Bravo podcaster, Ryan Bailey, Ben and Ronnie, whoever, and I need somebody last minute, somebody's always going to pitch in. Somebody's going to call me. They've got a 90-day show that they just last minute need a guest. We're always going to pitch in and help each other because there's plenty to go around. There are over 2 million podcasts. So, it's okay if somebody else has one. You don't have to be competitive, And whenever I hear something on another podcast, same audience. And a lot of the podcasts too, the Bravo ones and in the 90-day verse is sort of the same. Some are real strict recaps, and then some are just chatting. So that's why on Thursdays I don't do any strict recaps, except I had to for the Vanderpump final episode and the 2 reunions. We did strict recap because there's so much to talk about Bravo in general. So that's why on Thursdays I'm just going to talk about the shows I'm covering. And I'm not a Summer House person. I'm not a Below Deck person. I know about Below Deck. I used to watch it a lot. But now they did so many spinoffs that, like you said, there's too much content.
I have to say, I'm not a Below Deck gal, and it's my Achilles heel. I'm not proud of it. I'm actually ashamed and I'm embarrassed, and I put my head down when it comes up in public because
it's too much now. It's too much. Too many spinoffs.
It's too much. I'm trying people. But I'm watching in the bathtub. I'm watching in the shower. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it's a lot. I was doing that today before I talked to you guys. I was walking around with my laptop, making sure I had watched the latest episode of New York, which I had not. So I was like, shoot. So I'm just carrying my laptop around the house. I could have done it on my phone, but I was using my phone for other stuff. My husband's like, what is happening in the kitchen?
What does your husband think about this, Mary? What does he think about you in this world, loving this reality? Is he can we turn this off?
He doesn't watch any of these shows at all. The only show we've watched together, and I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, my spouse got mad because I watched something without him." He's thrilled for me to watch everything without him. He is sitting. He's watching sports. He will watch Everybody Loves Raymond or Friends. I mean, real recent shows. Seinfeld. That's what he watches. And I'm like, on a, I'm, like I'll say, like a 1 hour show will. It's 3 hours of work because I got to watch it once or twice. I got to take notes and I'm going to podcast about it. And I've got like 6 shows. So I'm always doing it. The only show we've watched together in the many, many last years is The Bear. And I made him watched it.
Good.
And then I forced him to watch it. I was like, you're going to watch the show with me and you're going to thank me. And now he does all the time, like, yes, chef, and heard,
yes, chef.
And word, and all this all the time, like hands all the time.
Yeah.
So that's it. But no, he is a lobbyist on Capitol Hill and would much rather
talk
about what he'd like to talk about, like the votes and if the government's going to shut down and,
Got it. Very different worlds.
Things. Yeah. Very, very, very important things. That's funny.
But he was excited about me going to that 90-day party in New York because it kind of came up, and I only had about a week to sort of go like, oh, can I go? Can I not? And kind of figure it out. And he was
were you there last week?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't go because I'm in Nashville right now shooting some stuff for Access Hollywood, and I was leaving the night before, so the day before after, so I couldn't, I had to pack, get my spray tan, get my nails done.
Yeah.
So I missed it, but I would have met you in person, Mary.
You would have met me. It was really fun. Yeah. It was very fun. But he was like all, excited about that I got to go. And something else I had to do that was on his birthday last year. And then a couple of years ago, I went to LA and it was like our anniversary or something. I was like, I'm sorry, I got this opportunity to go to this Countess Louis show in LA. I got to go.
Yeah, you got to go. Yeah. Oh, Luann's another one that's very funny.
Lou's funny. She serenades us.
Yeah, she likes to sing to us. She's great. And
I don't think you're the only one she likes to sing to. I think she'll sing to anybody that'll.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she loves to.
Oh, we thought we were special.
Special. And then Ramona, every time we interview Ramona, Emily and I will call each other after and we're like, what just happened?
Yeah, we always like dread it.
Chaos.
She's so cuckoo beans. But then after we're like, we love Ramona. Remember when so Lauren got a call one day from Ramona.
Wait, and Mary.
She didn't even know.
Mary.
Imagine she on a Monday getting a call from Ramona.
On a Monday, got a call. It was a New York number. So I'm thinking it's someone from like New York office, like the Access Hollywood New York office or something. And I'm like, oh, hello, this is Lauren. Hello, like in her voice, like the minute she said, hello, Lauren. And I was like,
hello, Lauren.
It was like, oh my God, this is Ramona Singer. What the heck are you calling me for? Because we haven't, this was months after we interviewed her last.
You don't have like a texting relationship.
We don't have Ramona, a texting relationship with Ramona whatsoever. But it turns out she wanted some press for her daughter's new business, Batch Boss, which I will say is a great idea because I was in so many weddings last year and I'm like, oh my God, this is actually a great idea.
It's a good idea. I agree.
Yeah. But it was so funny because she called me and then all of a sudden she's like then calling in Avery to get on the phone. And then we did have a texting relationship for about a month then. And I was like, we got to stop.
Listen, Ramona is, can be problematic, but I am excited to see her on Ultimate Girls Trip. Are we getting that in November or December?
Yes. I think we're going to see, and this is just my speculation, I think we're going to get the first, we're going to get a lot of trailers at BravoCon.
They just dropped Beverly Hills, literally while we're on this.
Oh, they dropped the trailer?
Yeah. The trailer?
Yeah.
That's exciting. That gives me something.
I think it's a part of it. Oh no, yeah.
Wow.
Good, guys.
Wow, that's exciting.
All right,
the ladies look snatched.
Who?
The ladies look snatched.
The ladies look snatched. Well, yeah, good for them. Well, so as far as people that you guys have had to talk to on a red carpet, I did see you guys had an interview with Kathy Hilton, who I love.
Yes.
Now, Kathy. Listen, Kathy is a lady of a certain age, and so am I. I'm not quite as old as Kathy, but I'm maybe Kyle's age. But when you talk to her, of course, she's holding her hand back, which is just such a she doesn't have anybody that can hold it for her, right? She's going to hold it herself.
She's like a royal holding that. She was like the queen holding that purse that day.
She was at BravoCon last year, but she was never on a panel, a stage, anything. I think she just went to mingle and then left.
She definitely, so she wasn't, I believe she wasn't confirmed to even be at BravoCon.
That's what I think. So I think she just went. Like Jen Shaw, she just showed up.
Oh my God, never forget that. She just showed up. I will say Kathy is what I actually went to Kathy Hilton's house once for the for a premiere of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I will never forget.
Very cool.
It was very cool, and I will never forget. Paris is like running around behind her with a ring light, and she's like, "Mom, that's so hot." And I'm like, "Oh my God, she just said that, didn't she?" And then one other time, she's like in her very fancy, very very fancy living room. No, I wouldn't even call it a living room. I don't know, like rich people stuff. It's just smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, what is happening?
Wow.
What is happening? But I will say Kathy is a lovely human. Every time we've interviewed her, I think she's great. She's
honest.
She's honest. She is very honest. I
feel like we're not going to see much of her on Beverly Hills this season.
I don't think she filmed at all.
I don't think she filmed. I think she was like, "Meh, I don't need it." Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of over the drama. But I did think she added so much to the show. So I'm interested to see how the show will be without her and Lisa Rinna. Because here's the thing, Lisa Rinna was the one that stirred the pot every single time. So I wonder who's going to take over that role this
I feel ready for Lisa to be gone. I'm like good with that. It was her time. Like sometimes you just, not all good things, all good things come to an end.
Yeah.
But Kathy, I will miss her inspirational shirts.
Her shirts were funny.
I will miss that. Honky dory,
Yeah. I'm glad, even if Rinna is just on pause for a couple of seasons, I'm fine with that too. I think that the whole thing with Kyle, and it was interesting that Mauricio just sort of gave that statement, was like, in no way whatsoever is Kyle in a relationship with Morgan. They are just good friends. And since it's all, it was like, right? Which means he planned that, or they planned that. He and Kyle planned it together. Something. Yeah. That was interesting because I think that he's like, because probably the trailer's about to come out and he's trying to boost himself on Dancing with the Stars or whatever. And I thought which I didn't even know he was going to be on that. And then I saw a picture. I was like, I thought maybe it was like a joke. Like somebody did like a meme for a joke. And I was like, is he on Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, that was a very odd casting. I don't know.
Weird. Who dropped out? Like what?
Maybe it was Kyle, honestly. Maybe they went to Kyle and then Kyle was like, no, put my husband or my estranged husband on.
Give him something to do. He's not busy. Who would you guys say of the housewives that you've interviewed, besides Kathy, you can't say Kathy, was the most like iconic? Like you're like, this is an iconic moment that I'm getting to talk to this person.
Ooh, I would say Kathy, but I'm not going to say Kathy.
Yeah. She wasn't on long enough to be iconic, I think.
Vicki, we were very excited when we first interviewed Vicki. Very, very, very excited. Oh, you know who was good? Caroline Manzo. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, such a good answer.
That was a good one.
It did feel like she brought her old school Italian self to that interview. She was like really giving it to us. So yeah, that was a good one. You know who I like really, and this is probably unpopular opinion, and we've yet to book her actually, and we should see if she'll do the podcast, Lauren. But I really loved Carol Rads. Like I would love to get Carol back on.
I feel like she'd do it.
The reason iconic comes to mind is because, like, let's not forget, like, she was married to the cousin of the Kennedys. Yeah. She used to summer with the Kennedys. She's like,
her mother-in-law was Lee Radziwill.
Yeah, like, come on.
I mean, Jackie O's sister. So yeah, it's very iconic.
She had like a huge job at ABC at one point. She was going and covering like in the Middle East, So it was kind of rogue of her to do Housewives. She definitely got a lot of book sales out of it though, so it was kind of smart. But yes, I love Carol Rads and I would love to get her on. I feel like we have 6 degrees of separation, her and I, so it's time.
I think that's a great idea.
Oh, her ex Adam came up on my Hinge.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and he just like a couple of weeks ago. And he just had a baby with someone.
What?
No, yeah, but also I do want to say like algorithms are weird. So like it's totally possible he shouldn't still be on it and like he doesn't know he's on it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to totally like make him sound like he's like
Wouldn't you
a
know to
philanderer.
deactivate your
Yeah, wouldn't you
account?
Well,
know?
some people don't, and they don't like. I have had friends like I've this has happened where people think their account is deleted if they delete the app, and it's not. You know, your account's still active, or like they go into like I don't know certain modes. The apps are complicated, but yeah, he came up on my Hinge, and I swiped. You know, I said yes to him because I just wanted to say
Yeah.
we didn't.
This was a storyline that we just had on Before the 90 Days, which is it was Riley and Violet. And he said, she lied about getting off the app that they met on. And she was like, I deleted the app. I didn't know you had to go to the computer
People
to
don't
take
know.
the whole thing down. And then she was like, and then I didn't know my password. She had lots of excuses all the time. And he was like, yeah, but you can see when somebody's been active on the app, and it said like you were active 2 days before. She was like, I don't know how that could be because I don't know, it was
Okay,
so
that is
That's crazy.
yeah. She's like, how could that be? I deleted the app and then I didn't know the password to do it on my computer. And they're like, there is a little button that says password reset.
right.
But that's funny that you said that because that was just like a huge topic. So, all right, let's talk about BravoCon 2023. So it's coming up.
Ooh. 1 month away. Which
You're
is
right.
kind of giving me anxiety because
I'm
we have
most
so much
concerned
to
about my
do.
outfits.
I know, Emma.
So
We
much
got to
to do.
figure out our outfits.
The outfits.
The
I have,
outfits.
if I turned my camera just a little and you could see what was happening behind me, it is crazy because I've ordered so many short sparkly dresses because I'm like, I'm
Ooh,
just going to
Vicki
order
this.
all the
Yes.
short sparkly
Yes.
dresses. And then after I wore one of them to the 90-day party, I'm like, I don't think that looks so great on camera like I thought it would. So now I've got a stack of short sparkly dresses that I'm trying to reposh on Poshmark. And now I'm trying to go a whole different route. I'm like, I got to go a whole different route because it didn't look as cute in pictures as I thought it was going to look. It's
Oh my
crazy.
gosh,
So
story of my life. I
I'm
hear
just
you.
really, really trying to come up with outfits because it's going to be hot in the day.
But then cold at night.
Cold at night, but we've got our daytime outfits. We've got our pink shade BravoCon t-shirt.
Oh, cute.
And we have something we're going to be like giving out, and so we're out there just self-promoting like crazy.
That's like the perfect time to
we
do.
should Housewives NightCap t-shirts.
Yeah,
let's just steal Mary's idea.
Let's just steal. Listen, I
you won't be the only one promoting yourself. You won't be the only one.
Everything is copy.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's a great idea. And Mary, we also need we're definitely going to see you at BravoCon.
Yes.
But I feel like it's going to be the craziest couple of days. I know it is supposed to be small. I think, Mary, we were talking about that. It might be a little smaller this time around, but I think it's going to be better for fans.
It's gonna be
last
awesome.
year we didn't even get to go and see the Bravo Museum because by the end of the day, when we were like, then I went over to this other section and saw this whole family karma thing that I hadn't seen. I'm a huge family karma fan. I'm completely obsessed. And the fact that I missed it when that's like one of my shows, like Welcome to Plathville, that like, I'm like, everybody get on board. Like you're missing one of the best shows on television, Family Karma. And when I finally made my way over there and saw they had this whole bar that I had not seen the whole time, and I didn't even get to see the Bravo Museum. So this year, instead of doing one day general admission and we just were like, oh, we're just going to blow it out the whole day. No, this year we are going VIP all 3 days. And we've done the add-ons. We're going to the Legends Ball. We're doing
the Legends Ball that was so much fun. I feel like
what night is? Do we know what night the Legends Ball
I think
is?
it's Sunday.
Oh no, Sunday is the big one where he's going to do like the awards, and that's where he's going to give Vicki
the Lifetime Achievement.
The Lifetime Achievement Award. So I'm really excited. We didn't know that. That's just what we got tickets for. So I'm very excited.
I think the VIP stuff is so worth it because that is where you do get to like really meet the housewives. Because at least last year it was like you go into a time slot where it's a room and there's alcohol, food.
Yes. But this year you have to pay for that time slot.
Oh.
With the VIP ticket, you have to. So you buy your VIP ticket,
and then you have to do the time slot too.
You have to pay for your time slot to go into that room, and then you can't just go in and out, which you could last year. And then you had to pay for the Watch What Happens Live add-on. I mean, it's a lot of everything you had to pay for add-on. Yeah. And I was like, I mean, really, I guess my kids aren't going to college. Like, I just take all my money.
Sorry, kids.
Yeah.
Mama's got to go to BravoCon.
Right. So we're doing it, and we've just got to get our COVID shots and our flu shots and our
the COVID,
hepatitis C shots. I don't know. We got to get all our shots before we go. We got to get it.
I haven't even gotten to thinking about that yet.
I am. It's a month away. You got to get all your shots.
We have to figure this out. Wait, Emily, can we say the one thing?
If you can't.
No, I don't think we can.
No.
We're hosting something very exciting at BravoCon, but we can't say what it is yet.
Yeah.
Okay. But if they listen to your podcast, will you say it before?
Yes.
BravoCon?
We'll say it.
Yes.
Yes. And we will. Yeah. But
Mary, we'll let you know because we would love if you were there.
Okay. Housewives NightCap is what your podcast is called.
Yes.
It's launching on the 12th.
It's launching on the 12th. And
with
Vicki. And she talks about everything, and including Shannon's DUI. So we did talk about that.
We love a nightcap. We love the name of our show because I love a nightcap, and I always feel like the messiest combos happen at night, like during a nightcap. You know, it's like you've already gone out, you've already partied, and then it's like, should we go for one more drink? You know,
the one drink is always the problem.
That drink is
exactly
always the problem.
And you get that espresso martini or whatever that that
you can on a Sprinter ran. Yeah.
Whiskey. And then you have that's kind of the cap. So I love the name of our show for that because I feel like that's kind of our combos.
I think that's great, and it is always like I should not have had that one last drink. I was fine, and then I had that one last drink, and then who knows what I said. Last year at the end of BravoCon, we were at the Gansevoort, and we talked to Don Juan, Candy's Don Juan, for I don't know, like an hour outside. And finally, Ingrid, my producer, who's my friend, who's going with me this year too, was like, we have to go. It is 4 a.m. We have to leave. We are old. We have to go. I'm like, all right. So we left and we came home, on the Amtrak app, changed our train to 6 a.m. because we were going at like 11. Yeah. And literally just came home, packed and got on the train. We're like, we didn't even go to bed. And I was like, and that's how you do it.
And that is how you do it. Oh, that is amazing. Oh my gosh.
So you said about Vicki and OC. So I wanted to ask you guys, now that OC is over and we're going to be getting the reunion, with Shannon's DUI and everything, do you think that bought Gina another season? Because now she really has something to talk about.
That is interesting. I'm actually interviewing Gina in 50 minutes. Okay.
I like Gina. People really are against Gina, but I like her.
No, I'm going to ask her that.
Oh my God. I love Gina. I'm like a huge Gina stan.
I love Gina. I do. I think she's great in person, but I do think this past season, it's kind of like, what was she bringing so much to the table? I do think she will be back next season 1,010%, because now this is going to be the storyline, and the storyline is going to be like, Shannon was giving Gina a hard time. She brought it up several times. And does Gina feel a little bit vindicated now? Right. And I'm sure Gina will play into the like, oh, I wouldn't wish this on anyone sort of situation. But I do think that bought her another season. I'm very interested, speaking of OC, to see if Heather will come back. There's a part of me that I think she's done. And I'm kind of done with it too.
Wait, I'm not done.
Oh,
and
I'm done.
No, you and I have very differing opinions on Heather.
Oh, Heather is another one though. Yeah, she's intimidating.
I stand Heather Dubrow. Yeah. I don't find her intimidating.
Well, in person, have you interviewed her in person yet? Because I had her in person a couple weeks ago, and
I can't remember if I've ever interviewed her in person.
Yeah.
Well, I could see where she'd be intimidating, but I do think this interesting idea of hopping cities is interesting. If she went over to Beverly Hills, like Taylor came over to OC, I think it's an interesting concept.
I don't know how she'll do in Beverly Hills. I don't know. Like, I feel like she's so she calls herself Fancy Pants in OC.
But so are they fancy too.
I know, but I don't know if she's like, they won't give in to that the way that.
Right. That's why it would be good.
Yeah.
Because it should be like, it's an equal playing field. It's not like she can't just talk about all her money, because everybody else has got a whole lot of money too.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, she can't go head to head with Sutton.
Could you imagine? Oh, I do want to see that.
That would be great.
I genuinely am confused though about why Heather's getting such a bad rap this season. Like, why is everybody?
Yeah.
I really am. Like, I do feel like she breathes, and they're like, "Okay, you breathe better than us. We get it." Like, I really do. I'm defending her. I don't get it.
I think she got a hard time, but I think it's sort of like once they jump on something, they're like, "Oh, great, it's not me."
Right.
I'm so glad it's not me. Like Gina wasn't getting a lot of attention, but she also wasn't getting a lot of shit. So that was good. You know what I mean? I think,
that's true.
Yeah. So they were like, okay, well, we're going to yell at Heather. That's perfect. But speaking of that, so Roni, okay. Roni, people were saying that everybody was sort of jumping on Jessel. And I was like, I don't think so. I think Jessel is, I think she's just kind of an airhead and I enjoy her.
I didn't enjoy Jessel, but now I'm starting to enjoy Jessel.
Mm-hmm.
And I get why people are like, "Oh, we love, like, she deserved to sit right next to Andy." But I'm going to be very honest.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I was really loving Roni so, like, I was like, "Oh, this reboot's amazing. This is exactly what it needed to be." But I'm going to be very honest. The past couple of episodes I don't know.
Jury's out for me on Jessel. I'm confused by her.
So you think it sort of started off and then petered out?
Yeah. I don't know. I still think the women are fabulous, and I think it was a fabulous group of women, and I love seeing all the fashion. I love seeing that they're actually very rich, except do we know if Brynn is actually very rich? We don't know, right?
I don't understand what's happening with Brynn.
Okay, I really want to know.
Yeah, I want to know more about.
Sorry, go ahead. No, she claims. Sorry, I said go ahead, and then I started talking. Typical.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because I think I'm answering your question. Because she did claim, and I follow her stories, she said that it's not her fault Bravo doesn't want to show what she does for a living. So she insinuated that there is filming of her working, and they're just not showing it, which who knows? We don't know. But it's definitely odd that we're not understanding what she does for work. Okay, PR marketing. Okay, what do you do? Like, what is your day? It's a little bit, it's very gray. I'm unclear on that with Brynn.
Yeah, and she talked about it on this last episode where she was like, I've climbed the corporate ladder. I've done this. I've done that. We're like, doing what?
How?
How do you only work 10 hours a week doing something you love and then you get all these referrals? Doing what? Are you a party planner? Like, we don't understand.
Very young to be like, she's only, I think, 36 or 37. So to say, like, I've climbed the corporate ladder, like, now I'm ready. It's like, you're still very young. So how much have you climbed?
Right. And you know, it's interesting you said that because I used to work in the same building with Chris Bassett, Candace's husband. And when the show first started, like, I'm just watching my TV and there's this guy that works in my building. I was like, what? So I went over the next day. I was like, dude. And he's like, oh, yeah, you watched that show? Yeah, I didn't even know. Like, it was like at a restaurant right down the street from my house. Wild. So he told me that as far as Candace, he's like, for like 10 years, she's had this business where she trains people for pageants. And he's like, they've never shown that. It's like that's like a legit business that she trains people to be in pageants. He's like, they've never shown it. It's so weird. Like, he's like, people have these businesses they don't show. And he's like, and I don't know why. Maybe they wanted to lean into the housewife aspect, but you know, she works a 40-hour-a-week job of a business she created.
They want a certain edit, I guess. And I think that's the deal with Brynn, kind of. I mean, it's certainly possible that she doesn't have this big job that she's saying she does, but it's also possible she does, and it just doesn't work for her edit, right?
They're trying to make her be like the fun, slutty one, you know, the Sonja 2.0. Like, I'll sleep with anybody.
She is the Sonja 2.0 for sure.
Yeah,
exactly.
I do
have
miss
you guys interviewed Have you guys interviewed Sonja?
Yeah. Yes.
I love Sonja.
Wait, Sonja's one that has your personal cell, right?
Yes, Sonja texted me, like, again, like, how these women get our numbers, we have no idea. But because she didn't have my number. The only housewives that I think have my number are Teresa and Jennifer Aiden, that I gave them my number. I get a text and it's like, hey, Emily, my show is in New York, like, tomorrow at City Winery. And I'm like, and I say to Lauren, I'm like, is this Sonja?
Who is this?
Sure enough, it was
Sonja.
She's
fun,
though.
And so did you go to her show?
No, because I had to shoot for Access. I really wanted to. I do a lot of work for broadcast for Access. I do a lot of shoots and interviewing. So it tends to overlap sometimes, which is sad, but keeps me busy.
Oh my gosh. Well, listen, Sonja's one of those ones. I mean, she can do no wrong. I mean, she's just the
It's so
best.
true. Her moments in the bathtub, her moments in the bed. I mean, we just love her. What's not
She's
to love?
just a Grey Gardens kooky old lady. I just love it.
She
I mean,
totally
she's
is.
like just a smidge older than me, by the way. But I freaking love Sonja.
Yeah, she's not old, but of course now we have this young crop of Roni women that it compares and it appears that way. What is your take on Jenna Lyons, Mary?
I love Jenna Lyons. I was aware of who Jenna Lyons was in this world as a J. Crew fan. I knew who she was. And I didn't know that she had had another reality show that you could see on Max or something. But
yes, brief, I think. I think it was
it's
briefly.
like trying to find an assistant or something. But so that was interesting to me because she seems very much fish out of water. But when you know that she had another show, maybe not so much. I like her. I like her a lot. I'm not like she's the end. Like people are like, oh, she's saving the show, kind of a thing. But I think that if we're looking at Erin, Uba, Sai, Jennifer, Jessel, I'm gonna want to talk to Jenna Lyon at the cocktail party, probably.
100%. We want her on our podcast. She's
not going to BravoCon.
Yeah,
really.
As of now.
Well, she wasn't on the official list. We don't know.
She might change her mind. She can if she wants.
Yeah, we'll welcome her with open arms.
For those of us that go to BravoCon as not press, and we just have the app is the best thing ever because you guys don't have to do the app, but the app will show you exactly what panel is when and what time, and then you click it and put it to your own schedule, so you don't have to look at 6 things happening at 2:00. You just click the one, right?
The one that you want to do.
Yeah, so I don't need to go to the Below Deck one or the Summer House one or the whatever.
No,
I don't care.
That's great. Right. We do utilize the app. We used it last year. It just helps us kind of know what's happening,
where to go at what time. Yeah.
We're going to be we'll be in the press room probably the whole time, so we won't be able to enjoy.
Which is honestly like a panels. Dark. I was there at 10 p.m. one night because I was trying to get everything, and I was like, "What time is it?" It felt like I was in a casino. So now that we're in Vegas, it will feel like we're really in a casino and we don't know what time. Because basically, what it is, we're on a red carpet. And then it's just one person after the other for 10 hours.
I mean, you're hungry, you're sweating, you're thirsty.
I wore slippers on the red carpet. I legit wore slippers because I was like, my heels got to go after 30 minutes in. But it was so much fun.
I'm the same way with heels. I just got some really great heels, though. Ooh. You guys look them up. They're like a big, chunky platform and they're from Aerosols, which is a real old lady brand.
But comfortable.
But they're big chunky heel, like a platform, but they're gold. They're so cute.
Love it. I love a Clark's or an Aerosol.
Yes, I'm gonna wear this.
I live for it. Are you kidding?
All my stuff. I don't care.
Yeah,
I can't be wearing spikes out here.
No. Listen, do you want me to be in a good mood or not? You got to wear the comfy shoes.
Right. Do you want me to have to make a CVS run for bunion pads? No, you don't.
Exactly.
You don't.
Exactly.
Well, guys, this has been amazing. I'm so happy to meet you finally.
Mary, you're so fun.
You're so fun. I do this all the time.
Listen. When it comes to Housewives and Bravo stuff, I could literally just sit on my couch and we could just go for hours because we've got so much we didn't even cover.
I know we have so much.
Well, I know.
We have to do this
again. Do it again. We'll have you on our pod.
That's what I was about to say.
Sorry.
You guys have got famous people on there. You got Vicki. You've got somebody.
Mary, you're important.
You're famous to us.
You're famous to us, and also.
Oh, sure.
But,
yeah.
Okay, people like that. People love hearing people that know what they're talking about.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And you know everything about all these Bravo shows. And I feel like people really do enjoy hearing
your source, Mary.
I do think that people really hate, when we were talking about the Bethenny Raquel thing, I didn't watch your show.
No,
but
that's lame. It's
lame. We're not, listen, if Raquel would have done that interview with somebody like you guys or another Ryan Bailey, somebody that has a big Bravo podcast that really knows the whole story, not to be hard on her or anything, but to actually get her point of view, that would be something worth listening to. But when Bethenny does it, you're like, if Bethenny said she'd watched every single episode and this was her opinion, I would have respected it because she just flat out said, I've never watched the show. It's like that stupid Howie Mandel and Tom Sandoval. And he's like, now who is Sheena? Come Come on. Okay, I just got on a complete rampage about Vanderpump.
That was bad.
Listen, it's rough out in these streets.
It is. I do have to run because I need to get set up for Gina.
I know. I just want to tell everybody before you go where they can find. We've got Housewives After Dark. It's called Housewives NightCap. It's a new podcast. It's launching October 12th, wherever you get your podcast. It's Emily and Lauren from Access Hollywood. And their first interview is Vicki.
Yes.
First interview is Vicki. And follow us on Instagram, Emily Orozco, OROZCO TV.
And I'm Lauren A. Herbert. So you can easily find us. And we'll have this Gina interview probably up tomorrow, but that will just be our normal digital series. But podcast October 12th. And we're excited to see you at BravoCon. It's going to be so much fun.
Thank you for having us, Mary.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, don't hang up. Goodbye.
Okay.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.